Alright, everybody. Welcome to Day Job. I am your host, Code Marvelous. And today, we are back on our bullshit. We are returning to Smoke after a long hiatus. So, let's see what we can make happen. We've got ourselves an opponent. Let's launch it. Let us not forget, just in case anybody forgot, we had spoiled many years ago the lovely piece of art for the source, which includes Smoke, long before we knew that that was her. So there's another person on this RP damage deck. So let's go ahead and run R&D. Let's trash the tech startup. Let's trash that. Let's draw 2 cards and gain 3. So this we're mostly going to be looking at multi-access, right? Going to HQ. So now we have a political operative to keep us safe from their garbage. Okay, what do we think that is? I guess worst case scenario, that's a Saisatana whatever and we die. No, it's a tour guide, okay. So they're gonna be able to viral weaponization us here. We need to get Switchblade out ASAP. People are really excited about playing asset spam again, which is kind of frustrating now that it isn't a viable style of play, because it 100% is. The bigger issue is that people forget that that stuff is like what made people leave the game the first time around. So like it's not the best to like bring back like degenerate like Jinteki asset spam, because it's one of the things that made people want to quit playing Netrunner. And of course, acid spam is what we get for our first game. But it is what it is, right, Baldur? So really the problem that we're going to have is we're probably just not going to have enough time to actually win. Yeah, like we're just not gonna have enough time to actually win this game. This is why my primary deck is an Apocalypse deck right now, though, because it gets around people doing this garbage. Like, this shit is infuriating. There's very little, like, there's no skill here. They're just installing every single card they draw. And then the one we didn't run was what, server 11? Alright, let's check to see what's in the server. This game would be nigh impossible if we didn't have Switchblade. But thankfully we do, so we can actually compete. And we have the film critic to hold the medical breakthrough so it doesn't enhance the next one. So they're drawing, trying to get their stuff together. Alright, so let's run R&D. Let's see what the top card is. Okay. Let's check server 5. Okay. Let's check R&D again. Check R&D again. And we win next turn. Yay, we did it! All thanks to Switchblade beating tour guide for nothing. But yeah, the existence of these decks is one of the main reasons why I've switched to an Apocalypse build. Because it just deals with all this garbage. But it's okay, because we could still beat it, because we got check cards. Yes, Potter. Alright. So, let's look at the deck and talk a little bit about what we're actually trying to accomplish here. So this is a Kushik delivery system deck, right? So we have a lot of one-cost cards. This deck is built on rock and roll. No, it's based on this template. I changed one of their Astrolabes to an Akamatsu, and I cut Cotty Jones to get a second clone chip in, because with 2 SMCs I really do not like only having 1 clone chip. This is the deck that won Antwerp Regional, so that's pretty exciting. Apparently it went 6-0. I think the 2 film critics are a really good meta call right now. Political Operative, obviously great. Sec testing, very good right now, especially with people playing things like IG. And of course, like, one of my favorite new cards is Trickster Taka. I think Trickster Taka is very good in the current metagame. So I think we can afford to keep this because it has the Mercur, and we just gotta hope a scarcity doesn't go down turn 1, right? Now, one of the things that the creator of this deck said in their write-up is that one of the reasons that they decided to include Gabrielase is because they saw that, like I often say when I'm playing Smoke, that their biggest stumbling block was the fact that Corroder just taxed them out of real credits. So what was always happening is that they were constantly low on real credits, which made it so that they couldn't break the larger barriers that people are using right now. So when people decide to stack big barriers on remotes, they were having a hard time getting through. Okay, so we have an SMC. Do we even have clicks to do this without dying? Alright, so I guess... do we just let that one go? Let's think about this. Alright, so... I don't think we have enough cash to warrant that. So I think instead what we're going to do is we're going to start checking other places. Also, I have a weird feeling that that's an NGO front. I was wrong. SSL? Yeah, okay. Well, let's keep poking around and building Mercur bucks. Let's hit HQ. Let's see what's behind door HQ. Now we have to be careful because we can definitely get run out of cards pretty quick here, right? Yeah, we don't want that daily quest going into whatever's in that remote. Especially since we don't have the ability to get Corroder right now. So let's poke server 1 early and see what's there. So let's fire the trace. I have to wonder how much they're going to overpay into this, since it looks like they're pausing big time. I think we continue here. Guessing something like an Archangel. No, another one of these. Okay. Trace 3. We might be just going a little too slow. Like, they just are going to rush us out behind barriers, which, you know, happens. So we're going to be in a bad way here. And this is one of the things that I was somewhat concerned about, is not having 3 SMCs and 3 clone chips severely slows down the setup of a deck like this. Yeah, because, like, as it currently stands, we cannot get to that, I don't think. Yeah, that's 100% theirs, right? Well, yeah, Boris, I did not make this deck. We basically need Kushik to show up. So that's the Echo Chamber. So we basically have to win in 1 turn. We're not getting there. We were just a little too slow. Good game, well played. Alright, so we're 1-1 now. Let's take a look at the list and think about what we can do here. So, some notable things. As I mentioned, there's only 2 SMCs and there's only 2 clone chips. But for that, we gain things like this deck has a Ghost Runner, which I think is a noble include. I don't think it's super necessary. The deck has 2 cloaks instead of a cloak and a misdirection. I like the idea of getting a Palangi into the deck because it does really help with the early game, especially if we're going to go with this lighter build on SMCs. I would be willing to cut a Ghost Runner for a Palangi because I think it serves the same role of making it easier for us to get in early. Now, the Gebrielasi is very good for the late game, so I think we're going to keep that, and it's also another one-coster. I don't even necessarily think we do need Misdirection, because we do have 2 Deuces Wild. So, let's give that a test. Gosh, I would really like to have 3 SMCs in this deck, even if we only have 2 clone chips, right? So let's count our money cards. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then plus our stealth bucks. So we can't really afford to be cutting a lot of money, right? That's not something we can afford to be doing. We don't have the turning wheel, so we're really all in on Kushuk. We can't do Peace in Our Time. We're not doing Peace in Our Time. I'm not looking for more money. I'm looking for a way to get like another SMC into the deck. We have money. What we need more of is a way of getting. So part of me wants to make this deck, I guess, demonstratively worse. If we're going to do sec testing, part of me feels like we should have Paragon, but then we have less one-cost cards for Kushuk. Astrolabe also helps us get set up really fast against the asset spam matchup. So, you know, it's like a tomato-tomato type of deal. See, part of me wants to go all bad, right? Part of me wants to go in and say, let's have 3 Deuces Wild. Let's have Black Cat. Let's go real deep dive on it, right? And then the Gebrielasi is at least on a breaker where once it's up to strength, it just rips, right? Yeah, Mark, that's a thought as well. We could do Stim Hack. Let's give it a go. Yeah, so like I said, we're 1-1. Okay, this feels like a pretty good hand. We've got Net Mercur. We have Film Critic, which is going to be good in this matchup, right? So our focus has to be on creating the remote lock, right? That's our mission. Ooh, why are sound effects back on? Alright, no scarcity currently down. So let's focus on getting our resources down. Right, because this is like the game right here is these two cards being in play. I can show you the force. So we have to watch out for things like Tithonium. We have to watch out for things like Archer. So let's do some more heavy drawing. Let's put down this. Let's run HQ. Oh yeah, I'd love to host that on Film Critic. And then we'll also put a pull-up down. Now, if they're on a punitive build, their deck is basically shut off by us having this Film Critic, especially if they're leaning on the SDSs to really help them. So let's get this off sooner rather than later. Then let's get the daily casts down. So that could be another SDS. So that's the gatekeeper, so we can break that. So let's go ahead and alright, let's math it out. Can we get in there? Alright, we have the Palangi now. So we're gonna turn that into a sentry. Yep, I at least want them to spend the money on it. Alright, so if that's the other SDS, we're in a bad way. That's the worst case scenario, right? Somehow people always have the worst possible agenda, right? Alright, so we're gonna poke around a little bit. So the worst case scenario here is we get our shit arc lockdown, right? That's our worst case scenario. That's cute. You know what we still haven't drawn this game? A Kushuk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need a Kushuk to close this game. Alright, we did it. We won against Blue Sun, which is arguably one of the decks that a deck like this is teched for, right? We have the Film Critics, we break big ice easily, right? So, chalk that up with a grain of salt, right? Because that is the matchup that we are probably most favored against. And we're still in hot water a little bit. I think one of the biggest things that has kind of led to me not being as open about or as all in on Smoke is that Smoke is always a meta call, right? She's not a runner like 419 or Val or Leela or even somebody like Haley, who's pretty much like always good, or Max is even like always good because she's doing her own thing independent of what the corps are doing. Smoke is a counterplay to decks that are looking to tax you with ice, right? That are trying to police your real ice breaking credits. So you need to use her in a meta where that's going to be valuable. People have commented that some of the powerful corps like Polana and Sports Metal and Asa are going a little bit slower now and focusing on big agendas and big ice, and a lot of people are leaning on things like SDS drone deployment and SSL endorsement and Obakadas and things that have defensive abilities or on steal abilities that impact the runner, which makes somebody like Smoke, who's always really utilized Film Critic, very strong, right? Film Critic's stock is very good, but a lot of the other shapers are better off using other restricted cards because they fit better into the game plan that they're trying to do. Whereas Film Critic is a very natural fit for somebody who gets clicks back from Netmerker and that has the ability to maintain tempo by breaking. Alright, so we're up against another Asmari, which I'm really excited for, because this will give us another opportunity to play this matchup. So, ordinarily, if against anybody except for Asmari, I would say that this is a keep. However, I would say it's not, even though it has the sure gamble, because we don't have a Netmerker and we don't have an SMC. So, this hand has both of those. So already it's looking much better, even though we don't have as much startup capital. We also have a Palanki, which will help us tremendously in the early game. Time to see if the scarcity goes down. No scarcity. I wonder if the call will be resource. Very wise. So let's dirty laundry archives. Let's get this SMC, and let's get this Astrolabe down. So we're already part of the way there, right? I wonder if they'll pick Resource again, or if they're going to pick Event this time. them not picking event here is very good for us. So now we have 3. So next turn, we're going to install all 3 of these resources, which will minimize the impact of their ability. So there's a slot machine. Let's go ahead and get it. So this is going to be an NGO front. But things are now popping, right? We're also already showing 3 cards for Kushuk. Okay, so we're going to get C-sourced. Probably all-seeing-eyed here. That's honestly not the worst, right? Because that sets them back pretty significantly. So... let's run archives, see if they res anything. Let's draw. We're not in the worst shape. We lost the Netmarker before we were super invested on it. And we lost the Film Critic, but like we can combat this. All right, so let's name archives. Let's hit this. Then let's go over here. And already we're kind of starting to place pressure on different servers by having the security testing down. Yeah, so we'll get rid of that. I'll just draw another card. We really need to find another copy of Netmarker now. But everybody's kind of broke here. So they're trying to build a server to be able to rush out. So I think first we're going to draw. Let's run archives. Let's see if we get a res now. We do. Let's hit HQ. I'd be willing to bet that there's an agenda in there. Okay. So that's going to fire. We're going to pay 3, which is coincidentally what we would be paying normally. So another Data Raven. We'll get the pull-up down before anything weird happens. We're just kind of poking around, applying pressure different places, right? And this political operative also gives us the ability to get rid of a second daily quest. And that Data Raven being on archives is very good for us. They're gonna hard hitting us, yeah. So we're probably gonna die now. Or at least lose our stuff. So probably our best bet is to do one of these. Alright. So this Asmari matchup seems pretty bad for us. 1, 2, 3, 4, soon to be 3. We're not gonna have the easiest time of things here, right? I guess now that we're basically tagged forever, we can just do one of these for money, because it doesn't actually do anything to us. Hey, Net Jogging, what's up? Let's go ahead and turn that into a code gate. Let's match the strength. Break. You can give us another tag. We don't care. We'll take the GFI, I guess. Yeah, Rube Goldberg is a weird deck, right? If people can't punish you for doing nothing, all sorts of like wild stuff can happen. So we're going to get exchanged very rapidly here. I don't think we have a lot of good outs here. All right. We're living our best lives out here. So need to get Palangi back out. We gotta turn this into a code gate. We're gonna take another tag here. We'll take the 15 minutes, I guess. I think that was all three, though, so we're kind of in bad shape. I really don't think we have an out here. I think Asmari is real bad for us. These IP blocks are not great for smoke, especially not early. This deck doesn't have a misdirection, which leads me to believe that their meta is almost entirely based on Blue Sun like punitive decks and things like that, because I cannot imagine not having misdirection in an Argus, in a world that contains Argus, because you just don't have the ability to pressure anyone using hard-hitting news early. But again, this deck went a bunch and won, so like they were clearly doing something right. We're 2-2. Yeah, we're in bad shape. I don't think we got a good out now. We're just kind of waiting to lose. Good game, well played. So, looking at this list, I really think that I am going to have to clear the stats here, and we're going to have to turn this into more the style of deck that I would play. We might end up making the deck demonstratively worse, but that is a risk I am willing to take. Let's get Corroder. Let's get Clot back in. 3 and 3. Part of me wants to get Paragon in here since we're already on sec testing and the card filtering helps so much. So we could cut Clot, we could cut these, and do 2 Paragons, which I like a lot. Now that somewhat reduces the efficacy of our Kushooks, but we can always also still we can get Misdirection in, which I'd say we desperately need. And we can still get something like a Ghost Runner or a Cotty Jones in, because we still have 1, 2, 3. I guess we don't have that many ones anymore now, right? That's the issue. Koshook only really works if you're playing the 1-coster strategy, and it does dovetail very good with Film Critic, because then you only access like the 1 Opakata, you don't access the snares, right? So we can get a Ghost Runner back in, which will speed up the deck a little bit. And then we can get another Cloak in. We can cut the Palangi. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, that's pretty not terrible, right? And then we also have Jeb. Then we can get something like a Cotty Jones in as some more permanent econ, right? I just don't like not having Misdirection. It feels like you're inviting the loss, right? Maybe we don't even need Cotty Jones in an environment like this. What's something else that we could add in that would help? Well, let's see. So we could add in something like a spec work to increase draw and a way of getting rid of... Oh no, right, we don't have Palanki anymore. I don't know, this is tough. So, if we're not doing Palanki, we can probably cut a clone chip. But then we have one less 1-coster. I'd like to get something like a Cubon in. That's a 0-coster, and that also takes up MU. It's hard out here. right? Because if we do the Astrolabe Akamatsu strategy, that obviously feeds into our build a lot more. But then we're having a common problem that Smoke has, where there isn't enough like dense influence for her to use all of her influence in all of her slots. Anybody have any thoughts? Yeah, Coyote Moon, I'm trying to use up all of her influence and leverage Kushik primarily. Yeah, we're looking for things to spend influence on that are actually useful and not just spending influence for the sake of spending influence, right? So I think of our yeah, crowdfunding is restricted. If we had crowdfunding, we would lose Film Critic. We would also have to dramatically adjust the way the deck works, right? Well, Whistleblower isn't as good as Film Critic. Film Critic just works, right? Four influence to spend. So, I mean, I guess we could just have the Paragons, right? And then count on other things to give us the shit we need, right? Yeah, let's do a consistent Paragon build and see what happens. I don't think we do. Right, our ideal rig is Refractor, Switchblade, Corroder, and 2 cloaks. Or 1 cloak and a misdirection, right? If we wanted to get Palangi in, I would say that what we would have to do is we would have to cut 1 SMC for it, which I'm comfortable doing. Which also gives us another 1 cost card to sit on the table during the early game, right? Yeah, it's tough. It's really tough to fill out smoke influence in the current environment. Yeah, I mean, Data Sucker's also good, right? Data Sucker's good for a lot of things that ail you. Yeah, so another option. We'll leave it. We want to test this. See if we can get ourselves an opponent. Everybody wants to run. Nobody wants to corp. Yeah, you can come back up. You are the one who jumped, Balder. So a little bit of JNet etiquette for everybody. If you're looking to join a game and you see that there's multiple ones open, please join the lowest most one, not the bottom one, or not the top one, because then the people who have been waiting the longest don't get games because people keep joining the topmost deck or the topmost game. I mean, I notice this even when I'm not on stream. Alright, this is pretty good. I mean, is playing against me being in a feature match? I don't necessarily feel like it is. I also if you look at the card on Political Operative, everybody in this card looks so worried about this guy that the Political Operative is talking to. Like, they are deeply concerned about what he's getting himself into, and it makes me very happy. Let's just go ahead and get this out of the way while we're here. Keep ourselves safe from whatever Sandberg nonsense they're doing. Now, the nice thing is, I think Beth's gonna come up this game. So let's just get set up. We need to find Foam Critic, right? I'm not going to use the Political Operative here because I'd rather have it for a defensive upgrade, right? Let's hit R&D. I'll take that Divested Trust. And then probably just a clone chip and draw again. I did that out of order. But if they don't armor up R&D, we have 2 Kushiks in hand and enough to bring our 1 cost count to 6. We could win just off that, right? So again, we're gonna have 5 clicks. Let's click to draw. Let's use Sure Gamble. Let's get all of our stuff down. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we could have 5 1 cost cards. Now that's probably an SDS. Oh no, okay. So here I think we draw. Let's get the refractor down. Guess we'll get rid of this NGO front so we don't have to deal with it. Let's hit R&D because it's going to be a fresh card. There's the punitive, which we all knew was in there. They can't fire an ash. They res it and we pop it before the run is successful, I believe. Let's hit archives, because if we get force-fed an agenda here, we're gonna lose. So we're just gonna mine. We're not gonna need this guy this game, I don't think. Because what we really need is Film Critic. Film Critic is what's gonna win us this game. Okay, we may die here. They've either got us or the punitive play is turned off, which it looks like it's that the punitive play was turned off. So we're going to lose a breaker here. We want to get that out of the trash before it gets arc lockdown. And then we're gonna try to close on a Kushuk next turn. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. This could become a 5. There's a slot machine, which we actually really don't give a fuck about. Now we have to be careful, because they can win off of a hostile now. Yeah, let them all fire. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not ideal. But it's enough. Good game. We got there. Alright, so the Paragon actually felt pretty bad. So let's take a look at the drawing board real quick. And talk about console choice. What if we just went ham, right? What if we did Black Cat and what if we cut Palangi? Yeah, we can do Astrolabe and Akamatsu, which gives us a nice stable backbone. We can cut down to 2 clone chips, go up to 3 SMCs. Do we want some number of data suckers? Right, do we want like a data sucker? Are we going 2? We could potentially be going 2 all in on 1 costers now, right? I like clone chips. I don't know why the version of this deck that I saw online did not only had 1 clone chip. Like, the absence of clone chip in the current metagame seems like a really poor choice. I don't like Black Cat, because Black Cat is somewhat of a liability, right? I hate the idea of having Cloak just because it eats up influence. Like, what a terrible reason to play a card. Because especially at, like, 1 clone chip, we're not really leveraging Clot at all, right? Like, it's amazing to me how when you build a smoke deck, you don't have enough slots to spend your influence. Like, that seems so insane. So, like, the original deck didn't have misdirection at all. So, I would say yes, but we can only play 1 Trickster at a time, right? Tycoon is so bad, right? Giving them money feels terrible. I'd even say get a thing like Hernando, but like Hernando is only 1 influence. It doesn't help. We could try getting a legwork in since we don't have a we could get something like an Armitage in over a Kadi because it's a 1 coster. And just play it like a blitz deck. Also, we have yet to actually put Jebrialase on something. We haven't had the time to put it on anything. But I guess it's not there for most games. It's there for the, like, Blue Sun game that goes super duper long, right? So let's talk about our memory suite. We're showing 6 memory, and we have, in our ideal rig, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're also light on draw now. We could get the deuces back in to increase draw. Or we could even do 1 in the data sucker. This just feels so wild, right? Like, not having 2 SMC or 3 SMCs in a deck like scares the shit out of me. Like, it makes me feel like we're leaning away from like what Smoke is naturally good at, right? I guess we just gotta draw like crazy, right? Alright, let's see if we get ourselves an opponent. This is what we do, though. We test and we test and we figure out what works, right? Me and my boy Balder. That's true. That's why I moved away from the data sucker, right? We can do that too. We can also, yeah, we can also like deconstruct the deck, right? If we want to. I love Switchblade. I'm gonna miss you so much. I wish I could quit you, Switchblade. Pretty soon we're gonna have to use this nightmare of a program. If people even remember this piece of shit. 5 cost, 1 MU. Stealth Breaker, that is 1 from 1 subroutine, and it's X, plus X for the remainder of the run. Use this only by playing at least 1 credit from a stealth card. So, it would be 6, or I'm sorry, 5 to boost up to strength for Archer, and this is about to be all we've got. And these numbers wouldn't be so terrible if the thing cost 3 to install instead of 5. It's so nightmarishly high of an install cost for a card that's so bad. Dagger and Switchblade are in the same set. Yeah, save us from the bad killers. They're so bad. Yeah, but the oh, Polana, this will be neat. Okay, so we've got money and we've got Polop. So I guess we basically gotta ask ourselves whether or not we think like this is a really good economic start. So we have to we're a 40 card deck size. I think we can trust that we're gonna draw into our stuff, right? Let's see what's going on ice-wise here. So I see a Fetal, which leads me to believe that this is a spiky build. In the meantime, data loop. Okay, so this is almost certainly a card tax build, which is nice because Film Critic deals with that. So this is probably a data loop Obokata build with like 2 punitives, right? So what we need to do is we need to find SMC and Film Critic ASAP. Alright, let's draw. Let's draw. Let's draw. Let's draw. Let's draw some more. Let's put down Sec Testing and Astrolabe if they are going to be of the mind where they are going to be making lots of installs. Now we're already showing 3 cards for Kushuk. Potentially 4 once we check HQ. We just need to keep an eye and make it so that they can't force us to come to them, right? So I don't think we have to care super hard about anything that doesn't have advancements on it. So since we already have another SMC, we're going to go into Archives here. We're going to go get Refractor. We're going to bank some money. Now we're showing 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. They have a lot of money, so we need to be wary. We need to be mindful of traps, right? Alright, let's force some ices to be rezzed, right? So let's go ahead and put these Kushuks back. And let's hope this isn't a Sentry. I think it's probably the Ike. Alrighty. Oh my god, what if this is a Jude bug? That'd be such a nightmare. Oh, thank God. Watch us get neural EMP'd. That'd be so incredible. Okay, so what they're gonna try to do here is tax us on clicks. But luckily, we've got clickable draws, right? I do feel kind of bad for them because they're kind of locked already, right? Like, we're very strongly locking them. We do, however, need to find Switchblade or a clone chip. Yeah, back in my day, we packed 3 neural EMPs. Alright, so that's almost certainly theirs. I'm not asking for much, deck. I'm just asking for you to give me an SMC or a clone chip, right? Okay, we got it. Now we're gonna start poking centrals again. Yeah, you gotta run 3 SMCs, right? Like, this is so bad.
A new subscriber arrives. It fills you with determination.
Let's fire the side game. Okay. Let's Kushik. We'll take the oboe. And we're ready potentially to win next turn. Hey, thank you, Fluffy Cat, for the sub. I really appreciate it. Alright, well, no time like the present, right? So now the real kicker here is we don't have any more multi-access. Let's play that sub game. Yeah, I know the stack's getting thin. Let's hit archives. I love how these Ike runs are just free. So now we know it's there. I guess we just have to wait for them to try to push something, right? Because we can't just break ourselves on R&D. I guess we just gotta try to take, like, exploratory pokes. Because we can't really do the thing, right? Where I'd at least like to see what this new R&D ice is. Let's see if they're willing to res it. Not unexpected. So that's 2 Kakugos accounted for. I'd say the other one's probably on this remote, right? I mean, this is very similar to the Pilana build that I played in Sovereign of Subways. Alright, fuck it. Oh, we're gonna lose our film critics. We just threw the game. Oh, good. So, can I counter data loop if I have no cards to add? I think there's almost certainly a breach dome in here, but I think there also definitely could be an obicata. Alright, let's blitz our way through these data loops. I mean, unfortunately, you do need to know how your cards work. Okay, so we win by concession. Please understand the way the card works. Yeah, I mean, that's tough, but, like, there's nothing, there's really, unfortunately, just, like, nothing that can be done there. Well, I think we keep this. We have the film critics and we have the netmarker. What the hell is that, a Prysac? Right now, I'm just playing Sports Metal, like mid-range Glacier. Yawn. Okay. So I guess our biggest issue here is yeah, right now I'm just on Sports Meadow Glacier. Alright. They're getting super duper greedy here. So I think the time to pressure them is going to be pretty soon. Yeah, Film Critic is also a persistent pressure that changes the way people plays, and also against Wayland. You have to call correctly what the face down agenda is, which is not the easiest thing in the world. I forgot how nice security testing is. Oh, is this another bio vault? Okay. Let's run archives. Let's hit here. We gotta force some ice reses, right? Let's jack out. Let's put that down. We just really need a fucking clone chip. Right? Like, we're gonna lose because we can't fuck a clone. Like, we can't find a clone chip, so we can't break 3 different pieces of ice that they're gonna be rezzing for free. Like, it's amazing to me how much, like, this shit happens. Yeah, I mean, this is so wild. Like, we're losing to this garbage because we weren't able to threaten enough early because we didn't have enough access to programs. Yeah, like, we're gonna hot lose. At least all of this stuff actually costs them money. Like, we're still boned, but... Like, you don't play a 40 card shaper. Yeah, we're dead. We're dead in the water now. You don't play a 40 card shaper and then not lean into the part of the shaper that is the most important, which is that you're more consistent. Yeah, I'm gonna concede. That's a good game. Alright, so I think we're going back to the drawing board here because I really don't like the skeleton that this deck is based on. Okay, so I don't like leaning heavily into Kushuk. I think that's actually quite bad. I think this is fine. I think the security testing in Trickster Taka is fine. I don't think we need a Ghost Runner. I don't think Ghost Runner is that great. I don't think Jebriolase is that great, but we can come back to it. I think we definitely need 3 clone chips and 3 copies of SMC. We're gonna put Palangi in. We're gonna cut this. We're gonna get Paragons in, because Paragon keeps our real money high. We're gonna put a Parisia in. Or even shit, like we could put in a friggin' Scrubber, right? If we really wanted to get dangerous with it. But I think that's leaning away of what our deck actually like wants to do. I think we want 2 Palangis. Yeah, like, all this is so tough, right? Because, like, Smoke doesn't have, like, a clear, solid build. Like, and since Smoke is often something where you're playing her to counter a specific meta, I have no doubt that this deck was finely tuned for what the person who won with it was anticipating that they would see. However, like, we can't really plan for that on JNet because it's the Wild West. I think we gotta have the misdirection. We don't have the MEU for this anymore, unfortunately. So let's think about maybe moddeds and RDIs. Or does that not work? Is that too optimistic? See, but then we have the drop problem again. I wish stealth was easier to import into non-shaper. This is all so bad, huh? Blackstone is such a nightmare, and we don't have the MU to support Data Sucker. I think that's the real issue, right? This is what, like, this kind of stuff is why I stopped trying to make smoke work, right? Because I feel like I'm constantly answering a question that no one's asking, right? Oh, that's right, kids. Oh, that's right. This is where we're at now. Because we could put switchblades in here. And then as our killer, or our there's some bad ones, right? I guess Sacred's not the worst, right? There have certainly been worse. So we have to make sure we have enough to flip the engine over, right? So we're definitely gonna need those. The whole reason I wanted to do this is because I wanted to do Paragon. So let's get that in there. This is gonna be so bad. We still don't have a real multi-access plan. So we need to put like turning wheel in here. We need class act, X3. We need career fair. Actually, we don't need career fair. We're doing some wild shit. Yeah, we could get like 2 career fairs in there, and then also get some casts in there. I have a feeling that this is going to be so nightmarishly bad. Probably go down to 2 embezzles. I don't think we're gaining enough by doing this. This is a bad idea. And there's no way we could fit this into Anarch, I don't think. Because all the Anarch breakers are shit. Well, we're certainly gonna take people by surprise. That is a thing that we are gonna be able to do. Hot dog, what are you even using as your breakers if you're doing a stealth? Well, I mean, obviously you're using Black Cat. Okay, well this person has 1 game open of each type. Well, we're certainly not equipped for this, but we're gonna figure it out. So, paperclip, refractor, switchblade. But you don't have any way to tutor breakers. How are you getting breakers in this deck? The frantic coatings seem super duper dangerous. Let's just go ahead and let him know how wild this shit is right out of the gate. I wish Dive V was better, but I understand why it's not. If Dive V was really good, then Smoke could just steamroll over people. Alright, so we still don't have... I mean, I'll take that. Let's go ahead and reduce the amount of money that you have. I'm actually going to leave it because I don't want them to potentially draw into an agenda. And we don't have anything that's affected by it anyway. Alright, let's hit R&D. Let's hit R&D again. We want to find an atlas. If we find an atlas, the whole game changes, right? That Mogo could be a huge problem. We also need to find a cloak or a... I've been playing almost exclusively 4.19, and I'm 83% with this current integration. Iteration. Previously I was above 90% with it. I really want Smoke to be good, but she's just so meta specific. So I guess she is good if you know you're gonna be up against certain types of things, right? We gotta force some of these ices to get rezzed. Let's see if that Mogo gets rezzed. Hey, you earned it, because now we can run the other one. Yeah, and either way, we basically get the effect that we want. Because now that's a barrier. Call me crazy, but I kind of want to get an Amakua with the first special order, because that gives us the ability to get through Mogo after the border control is trashed, potentially. Coyote Moon, Newsound and I Block don't make a 419 deck hard to play if there's just never any ice that they can do anything with. Now, potentially, going to get the Amakua is not the right choice because the Cyberdex is almost certainly in archives. Okay, so let's see what this is. Yes, we're never going to use falsified credentials, so that's just got to go. We still haven't found any stealth cards, which is, you know, a problem. So this is like a weird sideways way we can vamp them. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and run that. Perfect. So it's worth noting that this deck sucks. And that we built a jalopy. You can't put stealth very effectively outside of Shaper. Too many of the tools are too heavy, and Shaper's also the faction that has the tutors that can, make the deck function. Yeah, I mean, if this was a normal Titan deck, we'd be so dead in the water, it would be unreal, right? I don't know. I've gotten spoiled by playing just like good stuff 419 that now that when decks have all of these additional moving parts and have these slow setup pieces, I'm just not interested anymore, right? I'm just not interested in wasting my time. On these decks that have all these moving parts that don't really work, right? And I don't even want to put down Ghost Runner because of the weird interaction with Stealth, Netmerker, and all the bad pub that they've given us. Yeah. Alright, well let's hit R&D, because it's free. We'll still get the one counter that we need. Alright, well, let's hit HQ, since it's free. This is wild. If we were playing against any normal deck, we'd be so done. Yeah, I could just make the deck at 419. Okie dokie. Well, first things first, let's run HQ. Let's inside job server 4. This is still free. Yet again proving that Amakua is the best breaker in Netrunner, period. Full stop. Then let's go ahead and see the top 3 cards of R&D, since all of these accesses are free. Yeah, I mean, it's not overpowered, it's just really good. And it encourages running, right? And it encourages checking cards, and it encourages making a decision between trashing cards and not, and how valuable the counter is relative to other things at any given time. It's good, right? Well, the biggest thing is he's the NEH of runners, right? So mainly you have to ask yourself why you have a compelling reason to have 17 influence. This deck is so bad. Right. I think there's literally no way we whiff here. Alright. I'm yeeting this into the abyss. We are done. We're out of here. Alright. Let's go. Let's go back over to the drawing board and try to make a deck that doesn't stink. Alright. Part of me, I don't think stealth's good enough right now. I've been seeing a lot of interesting Leela decks. Leela's always good, but I feel like that's a discovered country, right? Let's see what kind of wild garbage we can do over here. They're good against like glacier decks. They're real good. I really wish that the Anarch Breakers weren't so nightmarishly bad, because they are terrible. All right, so let's think about this. Right, so if we're playing Nathaniel, we're playing a deck that is built around consistency, right? What if we built an APOC deck out of Nathaniel? Let's get Liberated. Liberated's great for this strategy. Let's do Eater. Let's do Paperclip. Let's do Black Orchestra. Let's do MK. Injects. I've had worse. DDoS. Career Fair. Hacktivist. Hacktivist is solid. Probably only a 2x. Wanton. Daily casts. Definitely want triple stim hack. Maybe an embezzle. Yeah, I mean, we're playing it mostly for the reduced hand size. I mean, this could also easily be an Edward Kim deck, right? Or a Val deck, and then you get mining accidents, right? And then we can get like a Stargate in here. I think one of the biggest things that people don't really think about is the loss of Zool really impacted Shaper's ability to play Apocalypse because it was an extremely cheap but effective decoder that you could use on like the one turn that you needed to do stuff, right? So we could also not do Apocalypse, and we could do more of like an efficiency Maw build, right? But again, we have this issue where we don't really have a lot of stuff to spend influence on. Like, we have a surprisingly low amount of stuff to spend money on, or spend influence on. I mean, we could go with the classic chestnut of crowdfunding, right? But then we can't have Paperclip, so then we have to like rejigger around stuff to get corroders in there. Oh, nope, that's not the right one. Why? Okay, there we go. Because then we need Chippy. We don't need DDoS then. Probably Maw as our console. Don't need Wanton. Go up to 2 Stargate. Do we want some... We can't do something like data folding, right? Like, that's super too ambitious. We could do something like Page Piper, but then we're like we're burning the deck from both directions, right? We could get hippos in. That's not the worst, right? Data suckers also aren't the worst. We also don't have any proper multi-access. Yeah, I know, it's tough, right? Like, decks are hard. I mean, we can always do somebody like Edward Kim, right? If we want to go to 45, or Val if we want to go to 50. If we want to go to 50, then a whole bunch of weird stuff opens up. Because, like, then we can get Turning Wheel in as our multi-access. We have a lot of disruption. We could even get in something like a Bagat. We could get in Ataka for the late game. We could get in Mining Accidents, which for additional money. Go up to 3 hacktivist meetings. We don't have quite enough money. We also have space for data suckers, so I would get. So the eternal chestnut is: do we get data suckers in or do we get Davids in? Also, I'd like to have Dirty Laundries in. So already this is looking more like a Val deck, right? Yeah, I think Val's probably the answer here. We don't have a rebirth. So then what we're going to do is we're going to get the rebirth in there. We will accomplish this by adding a third corroder. Now we're short an influence. Always tough. What if we did Alice instead? Just went full disruption, hand disruption, right? I've certainly done dumber things on this channel. Stargate and Maw are somewhat anti-synergistic, so we can cut the Stargate to get... Man, it's tough out here. We can get David and some hippos. Yeah, you know what? Let's get dangerous. Alright, let's kick it old school. Let's get DDoS back in. Let's get Career Fair. Let's get Eater back in. We'll get one retrieval run. We want 3 David because David is really good in APOC decks because they're basically one-time use anyway. We want the Wanton back in. Let's look at some non-Anarch events and see if there's anything that kind of catches our fancy, right? Compile could be really funny. Yeah, I mean, Embezzle could do the trick. Yeah, this is good enough to try. See if we can get ourselves an opponent and give this the old try. Alright, so let's talk about card choices. Yeah, I think this is all fine, right? Like, this is not great for them. Oh, we don't have a restricted card. So the Corroder is getting changed to Paperclip. And then that means we don't need this retrieval run. We could probably stand to get one same old thing for an Embezzle. Yeah, and just in case, we'll cut one David and we'll get one amped up. Yeah, we've got like a nice milieu of cards, right? I want to mulligan this. We need more money to start. I also love Alice's art. I think she looks badass as shit. So I'm here for it. Her armor is really cool. She's got like Mass Effect style armor on. She's got great hair. What's not to like, right? So I think to start, we're gonna pull the Anarch Turd one, click for credit, put down Liberated, put down Daily Class. Deadly Cat. Man, I cannot talk today. Daily Casts. That old chestnut. Alright, so let's hit HQ. Maybe I should just wait. Let's draw. Let's hit this twice. Because there's so much garbage ice that they get to res. Okay, well, let's check to see what this is. I'm at least gonna force you to res it. Let all subroutines fire. Hopefully they don't get a triple hit here. They don't. Yeah, we can't have that though. Let's draw, and let's hit this. We want to land a mining accident soon, so we're probably going to poke R&D next turn, because that mining accident... Never mind. Alright, let's hit server 1. The remote ice, right, is going to keep us out, but it also costs him money. Right, and that's the real ticket, right? Quantum? No, Abiel. Interesting. Okay. So we're going way too slow. Two breakers showing, still no paperclip. We desperately need a paperclip. I don't know what we're gonna do, kids. This is what happens when you play 50-card decks. You get burned. I have been so spoiled by being able to play Criminal, where like all the cards just work. It's Pachinko, we can't break it. Right, and we're gonna go like completely uncontested because we can't find Clippy or Inject. Everyone should just play 419. 419 is something that actually works. Every time I try to experiment right now with Runner, I get burned. Like, we've had to pitch half our deck. We're gonna get closed, accounted, and thrown into hell. It's gonna be great. Cool. We have lots of tags. Alright, time to APOC has come. Let's go in here. We're gonna hit Ops. The Force Trash out of HQ. Get the remastered edition, and then APOC. Good game. We lost. Alright. Let's play one with a real deck. Then I gotta go make myself some lunch. Alright, we're up against Argus. We got a lot of the things we need early. No APOC threat. I think this is better. The one we probably need the least right now is the embezzle. We're gonna just keep whittling away at their money and their resources while setting up for the crush. That's probably a data raven. Now they have to trash this before, right? So we're click compressing them. And this is money that can't be taken away with bankrolls, money that can't be taken away from econ warfare. So there's a Project Atlas. Nifty. So let's go ahead and say agenda. What do we think this is? I'm glad I didn't use one of our precious inside jobs on that. And I think we can afford to take one tag and remove the tag because that also gets us out of econ warfare range, and we're gonna drip for 2. So we're not in the worst shape ever if they hard hitting us here. And if they don't hard hitting us, we're in a position to just mine counters this coming turn. Class Act is such a great card out of this set. So there's the hard hitting. I don't think we're gonna die off of a single tag here. All they can get rid of is Class Act, which would stink, but we're gonna flip it over eventually anyway, because it's gonna be a hostile. That's a prize sec. We'll remove the tag, and we're gonna just click for some credits. So now we're in this nice middle space where they don't really want to be giving us their money. So now we know that we want the DDoS. And next turn, we are ready to fire our first apocalypse. All right, bye. No ad bots can be in this channel. So they want us to deal with that data raven, which is fine. We have 2 bypass events. So we can even just kind of like wait. Right? We kind of want them to commit more to trying to shore up centrals. Alright, I think the time's now. So let's go ahead and pop this and embezzle. We'll do for operations. Okay. Let's hit archives. And let's hit R&D. And we get our crowdfundings back. Probably going to be another hostile. Atlas with an Audacity, maybe? I really hope you're putting ice in front. Okay, I was about to say. Alright, well, let's go ahead and vamp them back to the Stone Age. So they quit. So there's the hard-hitting news. We know they can't play. So let's draw. Let's see what the next card that they're going to draw is. It's going to be an Ice Wall. Let's check archives. Let's get that down. I should have gotten that down first. I'm not playing super tight. So we now know that they have an Ice Wall and a hard-hitting news. I guess they just walked away and quit. Please, please, please. I know it can be very frustrating when you're new to the game, but please don't leave a game because you misunderstand a card and you get embarrassed. Hopefully that's not what happened here, but it's really frustrating when that happens because you're essentially wasting someone else's time for not having read or understood cards fully, which anyone can make that mistake. You just move on, right? Like there's no point in being embarrassed for not having perfect knowledge of this game or anything for that matter. Yep, they're quitting. Yep, good game. Kind of a weird note to end on, but the deck is good, right? The deck works. Like Apocalypse and our Apocalypse Crim is really good. You have all the tools to make an effective use of the weak period after the APOC because you have the embezzles. You have falsifieds to get reads on whether or not you need to use precious bypass tools on the remote early. You have the bankrolls, which makes you money again during that recovery period. Money that can't be taken away from you. You have the best breaker in the game. You have the best draw. You have card filtering and crowdfundings. Right, like what's not to like? Everybody, thank you for taking time out of your day to come watch me play Netrunner. It's always a pleasure to have you here with me. If you'd like to support the channel, the best way to do that is by following either the link in the show notes on YouTube or by subscribing on Twitch. And until we see all of you beautiful Netrunner humans again, always be running.